So I found out I was diagnosed with autism as an adult. A lot of people don't understand autism. They think it looks one way. Incorrect! Most people assign female at birth that are black usually are misdiagnosed with other ailments of mental health, and they don't get proper diagnosis from some experts because it'd be an opinion instead of actually getting tested, like a real proper test that gets to the root. And you can find these tests in the States. They're at least $995 if you do not have insurance that is covered by them. They don't even have a sliding scale, which is a big reason why I left the United States, because the mental health care in the United States is abysmal. Most people aren't getting the care they need. They're not getting adequate care to crash out, to heal. Indigenous people aren't getting that shamanistic care that they deserve, especially from elder mothers. Like, a lot of us in the States are not getting the care that we deserve to grow, to heal, and to fully flourish in an environment and a society that was not built for us. I also realized that I had autism a long time ago. A self-diagnosis because I know my body. Because one, I have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, test anxiety, hypersensitive to sound. Not just because I do music. I noticed it got increasingly worse over time, and I carry earplugs, especially behind the bar. I will have musician earplugs in my ear so I can fully function and like hear everybody. Also, I noticed a lot of patterns. I notice a lot of patterns. I observe a lot, and I immediately know when it's no to be around somebody. Like, it's immediately no. I don't even know how to explain it. Some of it is self-sabotage, and I notice it, and then some of it's like, it's a no for me. I had to come to terms with my diagnosis. I'm still coming to terms with my diagnosis, and a lot of people in the States, unfortunately, will say, hey, this is an excuse you're making. You just gotta do this and this. I'm like, first of all, I was the top of my class in high school. I graduated on a dean's list in college. I got into science and engineering programs. Still does not mean a goddamn thing. I used to be on time to everything. I used to rush. I had terrible health until I learned fully what was going on with me. I thought it was all trauma-based, but then when I started to heal those traumas and stop identifying with those stories that were told to me, I realized that there was something else happening with me. I'm truly an ambivert, and I thrive living by myself. It's not a privilege. It's a I must live by myself in comfortable situations or my brain don't work type shit. It is a right that everyone deserves to live in a thriving environment, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, holistically, and romantically and platonically. If more people were doing absolutely what they love, the world would look a lot different and it'd be a better place. I've had to completely separate myself from people, not just here, everywhere, where I've noticed that come on, phone, be like low on memory. Anywho, I've noticed an uptick in people and places that impose expectations on me that I never agreed to, and I've had to make hard boundaries with people up front so they don't get any idea that they can manipulate me. And even if that's not their intention, just like have strict boundaries on what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. And also understanding what ableism means. In plain terms, ableism is expecting everyone to do what you can do, not considering disabilities, invisible disabilities, resources, class, gender, privilege. That's ableism. There's countries everywhere that's doing that, of course. However, this is where you and in your immediate community can stop that. Stop assuming that someone can do what you're able to do and that somebody else can do what that other person's doing over there. Comparison is the thief of joy, including someone else imposing that, oh, well, I did it, you can too. No. That's not how that works. Prime example, there are people on the spectrum who do not like dancing. And then there are some who absolutely love dancing. There are some people who are nonverbal. And there are some people who are extremely talkative. The spectrum is different. These are just examples of everyone's not going to look the same. Everyone is not supposed to be or look the same. And the world does not exist in a binary. However, for some reason, society has allowed for us to be in a binary, in a toxic mind frame that labels us and boxes us in. And a lot of people are unfortunately losing their lives because they're not able to be truly themselves and thrive. Well, on this page and anywhere you see me, we're not doing this anymore. I'm done hiding and masking. The reason why I'm going so hard on this YouTube channel and my music is because I know that me building this business successfully and gradually and being able to provide impacts will show people who are on the spectrum that they can do it in their own ways, in their own path, and actually thrive unmasking. Because we're often told that sometimes we can't fully unmask. And that's true sometimes to a point. Just understanding that you're always in a brave space, being brave enough to be yourself in a place that's not going to always accept or love you. A good book, if you're able to read or hear or listen, is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And the Serenity Prayer is more so about the 49% that we can't control, but 51%, the things you can't control is your emotions. And how to self-soothe is deep breaths. I have a guide actually underneath this video about self-soothing, 3 different ways for 3 different types of people and many different types of people to get through the tough times when shit is hitting the fan. Prime example, a bill got taken out and took away a lot of the funding that I was going to need to get a hotel room for tomorrow. And I'm just going to have to ask for help. And people like, well, what are you providing? I'm like, I do so much. Behind the scenes, I don't always talk about what I'm doing off screen because that ain't for everybody to know. But just know that I am providing my community with something. I have so many resources. And the best way to support me is blowing up my music, is subscribing to my YouTube channel, increasing my watch time hours, finding opportunities where I could get funded to do the things that I absolutely am excited to do. Anything else outside of that, I'm not gonna fucking do that shit, and I'm gonna be mean about it because people have been getting too comfortable acting like they my mother. My mother is alive and I am grateful, okay? You is not my mama, and I do not need you to tell me what to do and how to make money. I've made money multiple different ways and many different times, and sometimes it looks like it was magic. But no, I've been putting in the work for years about music, and I'm serious about this shit, and I know in the ways that I want to do it, and it's not going to look like everybody else. And I don't want to be in the United States, so I do not care about that industry. I could do better. And I know I can, because I'm not settling anymore for things that are intentionally being toxic and trying to harm me. And it is not a story I'm telling myself. These are patterns that I have observed from people and how they interact with me. It is not my job to fill the people who are empty. It is your job and everybody else's job to fill your own cup. And it doesn't have to look like one way. And it's not supposed to. Also, I am a sovereign being, and it is my job to lead without having to hold people up and carry them. That is not my job. And I'm learning that now. And it's taking me some time to learn that and unlearn things. And I'm so grateful that I'm learning this. And I hope you also know that it is not your job to carry people. However, the ways that you can support people is not always about money. It's about providing opportunities that you know absolutely they will thrive in. I'm not meant to teach. I failed at yet again another interview. No amounts of classes and tips and tools are going to change the fact that I do not want to teach. The only reason I was doing it was because I just want to get a visa. And was I going to take that job very serious? Yes, absolutely. I think children are the most precious things in the world, in the universe, because they are new beings from a portal that came from imaginary to the frozen imaginary, right? So I think that's a big deal. I've taught children before and people before, and I love teaching. However, I think it's time for me to do it in my own way and not inside of a system that was set up for me to fail in the first place. So I stopped applying to jobs that I wasn't going to get anyways. And it's not a story I'm telling myself. I just know for a fact that my resume doesn't look like what HR is looking for, even though I have the skill sets. Because the way HR is set up, even hearing it from my career coach, is intentionally sabotaging people and is intentionally blocking people who are neurodivergent. That's why you see many people who are on the spectrum or have been diagnosed as of late are building their own businesses, because we have to save ourselves, right? So this is me saving myself. And I've been told, don't do this every day. I'm going to do this every day until it pops off. I'm not letting up. Of course, I'm taking breaks. The break is me getting the fuck out of the United States, is me being by myself reading a book. Even though, to be honest, I haven't been reading any books, because the only book I was able to bring with me was to help me with my shadows and my trauma. And honestly, I'm ready to do something more fun now. Like, dive deep into a new language in another country where learning that language is actually going to benefit me and getting permanent residency instead of it just being a hobby. And I'm done being in places with people and communities where if I am not there, the whole thing collapses. And I noticed something like that, and I don't even know what that's about. And I'm learning about my sidereal chart. But if the places ain't already sustainable, I'm not about to be there, because I don't have the capacity right now to keep building up societies and communities that aren't already sustainable. Yes, I'm here to lead places that allow me to thrive. And when I plug something in the wall, it don't blow up. I'm so serious, y'all. And where, I can find a music studio that has what I need, and I don't have to think about working jobs that I don't like to stack up to get some new equipment, when I'm learning that I can produce on my phone. So I'm just going to figure this out and continue this process. Thank you so much for unmasking with me today. I'll do every other day, and I'll do a very slowly mask episode. Yeah. And if you want to support my journey, because again, I don't have a job and they not hiring me, and they haven't been hiring me. I've never had a normal job in my entire life. I've never gotten a job a normal way. There's always been magic or me speaking up for myself, talking my way into an opportunity that I absolutely fucking deserved, because I do have the skill sets, and making it up. I've made up a job before that didn't exist, because y'all, that system is defunct in America, and a lot of places are copying that system. It's bad. It has cracks. It's not working. And I'm not going to participate anymore. So, you want to support me? I got pay links. I got a guide in the bio. I got links that you can help yourself get better at this. We in this together, and I'm going to keep providing you value and intel and on changing your life and your mindscape and your reality and being more into your main character energy. See you next time.